Well, it seems that Disney is in the news a lot lately, and not for the best of reasons. And there's yet another story coming out of Disney that is not the best look. And I think this is something that, while it may not get the biggest of headlines, I think will definitely affect the company continually going forward, and not in a good way. So we got an article here from Blog Mickey where we're going to talk about that. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And the article is about the fact that Disney has announced cutbacks to their Aspire college tuition program. And we're just going to go through this and give some thoughts on it. So it says Disney has announced cutbacks to its popular Disney Aspire college tuition program. The cutbacks will be effective November 27th, according to an email sent to cast members. As part of the cutbacks, Disney will introduce an annual funding cap of $5,250 to Disney Aspire in-network schools. Eventually, funding caps will apply to all students across all schools, according to the email. Other changes include the removal of master's programs and Penn Foster trades programs from Disney Aspire entirely. It says Disney Aspire debuted in 2018, and more than 4,600 current employees had completed the program. Disney says that more than 11,600 students are currently enrolled in the Disney Aspire program. More than 8,000 students are currently enrolled through Walt Disney World, and more than 3,000 students are enrolled through Disneyland. Disney touted that the Disney Aspire program was, quote, the most comprehensive educational investment program of its kind that's about to change. It says, before we get further into the new changes, here's a look at how Disney used to describe the Disney Aspire program before the recent changes. Disney Aspire is an educational investment program that provides hourly cast members and employees with resources they need to achieve their educational goals. It breaks down barriers to higher education, inspires career mobility, and helps the company's workforce prosper by offering 100% upfront tuition coverage for a network of schools and universities, along with added benefits like reimbursement for books and fees. One of the toughest challenges students face is the high cost of tuition. Disney Aspire offers comprehensive tuition coverage to eligible hourly employees to help them remove this barrier. This benefit allows them to pursue higher education without the burden of excessive student debt. The program covers tuition, required fees, and even required books for approved courses or programs. In addition to undergraduate and master's degree programs, Disney Aspire offers tuition coverage for high school completion, English language learning, and college prep. Any fees or required book purchases that come from these educational pursuits are eligible for reimbursement through the program. It says these changes to the Disney Aspire program could have a massive ripple effect on Disney's ability to recruit and retain employees. I would agree that I think that this is something that, and I've already seen some stuff on Twitter from people saying like they're in the program and basically it's just demoralizing for the cast members, which if you're working at Disney to go to school, and obviously this program helps you pay for that school to better yourself, I would take that. That'd be a very, disheartening thing to hear that your company is no longer doing it, at least in the way that they were. In 2024, Disney said that 1 in 4 applicants to U.S. hourly roles within the Walt Disney Company cite the Disney Aspire program as one of their primary reasons for applying to work at Disney. Other stats released earlier this year about the program include more than 60% of employees using Disney Aspire, where earning a bachelor's degree or master's degree, nearly 50% of students identified as people of color and 60% identified as women. For students that are currently enrolled, the current term will continue to be fully funded by Disney, but the amount may count toward the 2025 funding cap. Disney suggests that students discuss options with their school before future enrollment, and they also say that any spend that exceeds the new annual cap will be billed to the student from the school. Effective immediately, the master's program and Penn Foster trades are no longer available for new enrollment. Students currently enrolled in these programs may continue with their schooling, but the funding cap will come into play. If students had applied for a discontinued program before September 5th, 2024, they may continue if accepted. But there will be new rules around funding caps. Any applicants that were in progress but not fully submitted will be rejected. Yikes. Disney says that they remain fully committed to students' educational success and career journey, and they will continue to provide support with even more details to be announced. Disney says that they look to extend our available career resources and services for employees in the future, and Disney says more details will be announced in the future. It says there are no announced changes to the Disney College program, which is a completely separate program than the Disney Aspire program. A Disney spokesperson offered the following comment about the changes to the Disney Aspire program. So since Disney Aspire was first introduced, we have continued to evolve the program to meet the needs of our cast members and employees, as well as the needs of our business. Disney Aspire continues to offer an evolving catalog of programs and degree options across various fields of study, skills, and professions, providing our eligible employees the opportunity to pursue disciplines and diplomas, including high school equivalency, English language learning, and undergraduate degrees. In addition to Disney Aspire and our education reimbursement program for salaried employees and cast members across the U.S., we also offer a variety of hands-on learning, training, and career development experiences that help employees and cast members get to where they want to get professionally. So, the way in which you could look at this, I suppose there are two different ways. Now, I think the main thing that people are going to look at this and say, as of late, Disney's price hikes, and we have videos talking about it where like the cost of food in Disney parks is more than double the rate of inflation. How much more expensive it is to just go to Disney. To the things that used to be free are now they now cost more. Talking about pricing people out of vacations. So it seems like on its face, and I think there's a valid argument there, that this is a greedy company that is wanting to be even more greedy and thinking, well, why are we going to, let's just cut back on the amount of money that we pay for these people to get, to get education, because, well, why spend that money? Like, we don't want to do that anymore. It's just them wanting to make more money, basically keep more of the money. I suppose on your best faith, if you're looking for this as something that Disney's not a greedy company, I suppose you could say that they've found out that a lot of the people that are using this program don't stay within the company. And so they're essentially paying for employees to get an education that Disney themselves is not utilizing, which could be the case. They could see a lot of data that just shows that either by choice or there's nowhere to move up inside of Disney, which could also be part of the issue, is there's not a lot of opportunity perhaps to move up, which I would say is a issue of Disney in terms of their leadership. Because if you're a company that is doing this, the idea would be that you, and this how it used to be how Disney was, is they would hire from the inside first. So there's a job opening, they would open it up to current employees first before they would to the outside, the everyday people on the outside of the company. So perhaps there's just no opportunities for whatever reason, or they're not hiring people from inside the company. So you could look at it as they're basically just spending money that they're not, it would be like having a minor league baseball team that doesn't promote from their minor league team. They always go get free agents. I guess you could look at it that way. It's still not a good look, in my opinion, because one of the main things that you do a college tuition program is the morale of your employees, because, let's be honest, a lot of times working these jobs, especially inside the parks, this is not jobs that people want to do forever. A lot of these jobs are historically college students, part of the college program, and people, they're working these jobs to move up or to eventually do something different. So I would say morale taking a hit is probably for sure going to be something that goes on. And even in this article in the comments, it looks like we've got some people from Disney themselves. It says, as a current cast member and Disney Aspire student, I was very saddened by the email you refer to. It will throw some curveballs in my future school plans. This one here says, my daughter recently started the Aspire program, 3 courses in, and Disney pulls the plug. With what I am hearing, Disney will possibly be losing a lot of great employees with this change. The cast members currently enrolled should have been allowed to finish the program. Highly motivated people will change employers. Newcomers will not be drawn to work for Disney. It's so expensive to survive in the area. I mean, I definitely think it's going to hurt Disney's ability to recruit and get people. I mean, especially this one of the, it's not that they're getting rid of the program completely, but the fact that it is changing this drastically. And again, you're talking about a company the size of Disney, which lends me to think that they're having more financial issues or anticipate having more financial issues than they're letting on. They obviously have bought a lot of things in the recent past. Not to mention they're still in the process of figuring out how much they're going to pay for Hulu, which is going to be, I'm going to say, well north of $10 billion if I were to take a guess there. So it doesn't lend to the fact that Disney is, showcasing that they're a strong company, because this is something you would do whenever you're basically trying to, cut costs, because you're anticipating revenues being down and things like that. This one here says, this is honestly so sad. I really plan to stay with the company, but I'm changing my mind now. Disney can afford this, so why add the cap? They are so greedy to their employees. So this is really a big slap in the face. Part of the hiring process for me was being lured in by them saying they would cover a master's degree. Now, instead of finishing in 2 years, I will finish in 6, and I'm one of the lucky ones who gets to complete a master's, as they won't offer any masters now. Universal pays more doing the exact same job, and they offer degrees. Disney is doing their best to lose magic. Screwing over cast members doesn't help the parks at all. I would agree. And so this email destroyed what I had planned in my future. I was planning to finish my bachelor's as fast as possible to then start my master's. Not only is that dream shattered, but they also got rid of the certificates I wanted to achieve. Now, when I finish my bachelor's in 2 semesters, I'm kicked out of Aspire. They also increased the eligibility requirements to 6 months at Disney, no longer 3 months. This is one of those things that it's not going to be something that is noticed immediately. Anytime you're talking about, the morale of employees and cast members in this sense, being a cast member in the parks already has its challenges. And I would just note, I think it's pretty evident as over the years have gone on that the customer service that Disney used to offer has definitely slipped. Used to call it the Disney difference. Whether that's through the current training or just the fact of the people that they currently are hiring. But I just think it goes toward leadership and how they're training and hiring people. That has definitely slipped. I think you're going to continue to see this. And especially like that person mentioned, when Universal, completely does this differently and seems like they do a lot of things that people enjoy in that end. You could see a lot of people leaving Disney to go to Universal for that reason or many other places. You could also look at it as maybe Disney, they're deciding instead of just paying for college programs, maybe what they want to do is train people internally and not, rely on the college aspect to do it, but train people up in the Disney way to do it. That could be something they want to do, to be fair to them. And that is a trend that you are seeing with some companies, in that a lot of places now are dropping their requirements for bachelor degrees for jobs, because college degrees now aren't really, I have a college degree, and I can honestly say it's one of the most useless things I've ever gotten. I got a job initially out of college, and I haven't used it since. And I think a lot of people fall into that boat. And I think from company standpoints, a lot of times they would rather train people that don't already have stuff taught to them. They can just take them as a blank slate, train them up in their ways. And then for them, they're more efficient employees. I suppose in the best case scenario, that could be what Disney's looking at doing here. But to do that, I think you would also couple that with announcements of like, okay, we're not going to be paying as much or whatever for these college programs. We are going to set up a Disney program here where you can earn certificates, you can earn accreditations within the company on ways in which we do things that they then would look at for hiring people internally. And then morale, I think, would stay up. But the way that this is worded, the way that this seems, it just seems that a multinational billion-dollar corporation is wanting to save money. And they're thinking, why do we have to pay for all this college? Whatever. We're not going to do it as much. We're going to save however many millions of dollars by doing this and count that as part of our revenue or something. But I think they're really underestimating how much this is going to demoralize cast members. And I think that's something that upper management at a lot of places doesn't quite understand, because upper management at Disney makes millions of dollars. These people are rich. So for them, this doesn't affect them. They think that it's not a big deal probably, but I think they underestimate how much, especially when you're talking like low level employees, want to move up. Maybe they're in bad circumstances. They come on to Disney because of this program, gives them this opportunity to not go into debt. College debt to go to college is expensive. So this is something that a lot of people would work for Disney because, hey, I can get a college degree, I can better myself. And now that simply seems like it's being taken away on some level from these, cast members. And I think that's just a crappy thing, especially from a company the size of Disney. Like that comment said, they can afford this. They can, for all the things, the extra money they've made from Genie Plus and now the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, and they're getting ready to introduce the Premier Pass. All these things, like, buying Hulu for billions of dollars, Bob Iger's contract for millions of dollars. You're not telling me that they can't afford this. That's just a silly argument. And I think this is something that, again, it's just sort of a trend with Disney that I'm not surprised to hear, as they just continue to not only cut back things that consumers get, but now they're getting to the point where they're cutting back things that cast members are getting as well. But obviously, this is not something you're going to see that's just going to be like tomorrow and like, oh, it's going to be a big deal. This is going to be one of those things where years from now, if there's a lot of people that leave the company, or let's say that, customer service continues to fall, morale amongst employees is down. This could be something that people start pointing to. And I guess on some level, you could say this could come from the fact that you did have the Disneyland strike and they had to renegotiate that deal. And they've had these at Disney World as well with the unions. Perhaps that the more money now that they're paying to employees, and it could be the more money that they're being forced to pay to cast members, that they don't want to just fork over that money without cutting it back somewhere else. And it could be something along those lines. Either way, I think it's something that's very short-sighted, which a lot of things I think with Disney they tend to do, and something that they'll probably come to regret. And I'm not going to be surprised at some point if this gets reinstated, if they start noticing really, drastic changes amongst morale and the cast members, or not able to recruit cast members, losing cast members, things like that. This could be something that they reverse course on at some point, as major companies and corporations. This is something that they all kind of tend to do here of college education. But we'll have to wait and see if Disney maybe announces something different that they're going to do. So I suppose, to be fair to them, they could have an announcement on something that's going to replace this, or some sort of other program they're going to use internally at the company. But as of now, that is going to be it for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Disney World, Universal Studios, Epic Universe, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, if you are a cast member, what do you think about this change? And do you think this is going to affect Disney's ability to recruit cast members in the future? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.